Handmade work has always been a part of everyday life. Not just handmade food, but also clothing, furniture, toys, tools, baskets, candles, and the list goes on. For most of history, people made things handmade not because it was trendy, but because it was part of daily life. And while they didn't have department stores, delivery services, or convenience foods the way we do now, handmade work wasn't only about necessity. It was about rhythm. It was about skill. It was about the quiet satisfaction of producing something with your own hands. Even now, with all the tools available to us, there's still something grounding about working by hand. I have a mixer in my kitchen, and I used it often until it stopped working. So I started making things in the kitchen without it. I didn't like it at first. It seemed to take too long, and sometimes it was hard to get the same result. But over time, that changed. Now I often choose to knead bread dough by hand, even cookie dough and pie crusts. Not because it's faster, it isn't. Not because it's easier, because it's not. But because there's something steadying about feeling the dough change beneath your hands. Something that connects effort to outcome in a way machines never quite do. I think this kind of work does something to us. Our ancestors understood that when you make something by hand, you don't just end up with food or clothing or tools. You end up with patience. You end up with attentiveness. You end up with a sense of capability. Those things matter just as much as the finished product. And that's why handmade heritage still matters even now. Children don't learn the value of handmade work by being handed perfect results. They learn it by watching adults practice skills, by seeing repetition, by noticing mistakes, by watching small problems get worked through, and by helping us in experiencing things for themselves. They learn that effort has value, even when the outcome isn't perfect. In moments like this, children are being invited into a way of learning that's slow and human. Some parts are too hard for little hands, though, so they help where they can. They measure, they mix, they roll and brush, and for the rest, they watch. But that watching isn't passive. It's how knowledge begins. For most of history, skills weren't taught all at once. They were absorbed over time. Children stood nearby while work was done. They learned long before they were expected to do something well. We've noticed this same kind of learning show up in other ways too. One thing we've noticed, especially with a bigger family, is how much more our kids eat when they help make the food themselves. We know what it's like to have picky kids. But without fail, when they help make the meal, they eat it better. It's no longer just something that shows up on their plate, it's something they were part of making. Our older kids have mentioned something else too, and I thought it was interesting. Making food by hand forces you to plan the time to do it. And because time is limited, especially with school, work, and activities, it naturally makes them more intentional. More intentional about what they're eating, and more intentional about when they're eating. They've told us that when they take time to make a meal, they actually want to eat it. They're more likely to eat all 3 meals. And they're more likely to choose meals that feel healthier and more filling. We've noticed this as a whole family too. When we make meals by hand, we're much more likely to eat the meal and the leftovers. Food doesn't just sit in the fridge and quietly go bad. When you've taken the time to make something, you don't want it to waste. Learning to make food by hand doesn't stop with children. I'm still learning too. Making food from scratch teaches responsibility. It teaches patience, and it teaches that good things take time. Buying pre-made food isn't wrong. We do that too. But when everything is pre-made, you're giving the responsibility away. Handmade heritage isn't about doing things the old way for the sake of nostalgia, though that does add to the enjoyment for me. Handmade heritage is about preserving the parts of life that make us feel capable, grounded, and connected. I really enjoy using recipes that come from our family. My grandma's rolls and coleslaw, my husband's grandma's pie crust. But we don't only use family recipes, we use other recipes too. And a lot of the time, we change them so they fit our family and the tastes we're used to. Traditions don't have to stay exactly the same to matter. They're meant to be lived and adapted. We also try to make handmade snacks when we can. Peanut butter snack bites, crackers, bagels, pretzels, cookies. Not all the time, and definitely not perfectly, but often enough that it makes a difference. These are the quiet benefits of handmade work. Not just the things we produce, but the people we become while making them. This is what handmade heritage often looks like in our home. If you want to see more of what handmade heritage can look like, or to get ideas for your own home, you're welcome to subscribe. This is part of our Handmade Heritage series at Roots Handmade Tales. We won't always make things perfectly, because we're learning as we go. But we hope that these moments encourage you to make something by hand and feel more connected to your own roots. See you next time.